Hi everyone, I am Vivian McGrath and welcome to my webinar. I am so excited you're here. As you can see from the title, I am going to show you how to recover from abusive relationships and never settle for anything less than you deserve again. And I mean it, even if that sounds like a bit of a pipe dream to you right now. Because you know what? It's not only possible, but simpler than you think to achieve that in your life as well. Now, I know a lot of people start their webinars with all this chit chat and storytelling, but do you mind if I just get straight to the good stuff? I hope you'll forgive me because I really want to give you the best value in the time that we've got today. So how does that sound? Before I do that, I just want to clarify who this is for. This is for you if you're a smart, educated woman who is ready to do whatever it takes to move forward with your life, recover from abusive relationships, fall back in love with yourself, and never settle for anything less than you deserve again. So, if that's for you, you're in the right place, and I'm so happy you're here because you're going to love it. But first, let me just quickly tell you what we're going to be covering in the roughly 45 minutes. In the next 45 minutes, you're going to learn how to recover from abusive relationships even when you've had a history of repeating them. How to let go of the past, understand what happened, and get rid of anxiety, guilt, and blame that goes with abusive relationships. How to understand how and why you keep attracting the bad guys or girls in the first place and break that cycle for good. How to overcome unwitting self-sabotage and empower yourself so that you only make the right, confident choices in future. How you can reprogram your mind so that you can eliminate fears and self-doubt and embrace the future with confidence. And how to believe you will find lasting love in a healthy and happy, pain-free relationship, even if that does sound like a pipe dream to you right now. Best of all, how to never settle for anything less than you deserve ever again. Does that sound good to you? So, my promise to you, if you stick with me, I'm going to give you a step-by-step strategy to completely recover from the abuse that you've experienced in your relationships and never have to settle for less ever again. I'd like you to just stretch your imagination beyond what you think is possible, even if it feels like you're in a really dark tunnel right now. Because it is possible, I promise. But before we get into all that, I just want to check in with you briefly, if that's all right with you, to see where you are at right now. Does this sound like you? Do you wonder why you keep attracting the same type of guys who hurt you, even when you're convinced every time that they're going to be different? Do you spend most of your time exhausted, walking on eggshells, making everyone else happy, yet suppress your own feelings and needs in favor of theirs? Do you wonder why, when you do so much for everyone else, you always come up empty, are left numb inside, and if anyone even cares about you? Do you appear strong and carefree, yet live a secret life of fear and shame? Fear of the future, that you're a failure, or that you're not good enough? Have you lost you? Feel alone even when you're amongst others and want to get your self-esteem back? Or do you ever feel jealous of other women who've got these amazing relationships or been with the same great guy for years and you just wondered how they managed it? Do you wake up worrying you're going to spend the rest of your life alone, never finding anyone who truly loves you for who you are and the way you deserve to be? If that sounds like you, I have some really good news for you, because you know what? None of these are the real problem. The real problem is you haven't made the shifts. And I promise I will get into them in just a moment, but I just wanted you to know that once you make them, you're going to eliminate all that guilt and shame around your abusive ex. You'll know you're good enough and deserve way better than this. You'll stop walking on those eggshells or being a doormat and putting others' needs first, and instead have strong boundaries that keep you safe and secure. You'll banish self-doubt, know exactly who you are and what you want in your life, and confidently make the right decisions that serve you to get there. And you'll finally wake up excited about the future, smiling again and full of that joy that's been missing for way too long. And you'll fall back in love with yourself, stop attracting abusive types, and know exactly how to spot the red flags right from the start. Best of all, you'll never settle for anything less than you deserve again, because you'll be happy with or without a man or woman. And the great one that you'll go on to attract and be ready for is just going to be the icing on the cake. So just quickly, let me introduce myself and why on earth you should listen to me. I'm Vivian McGrath. I'm a survivor of domestic violence. Actually, my ex almost murdered me. I struggled to leave him and to recover from this abusive relationship, but I would have walked on broken glass to create a better life for me and my son. So I went back to my studies, got a university degree, forged a successful career in television, and found long-lasting love in a healthy relationship with the beautiful man I'm still married to more than 3 decades later. My mission is to help smart, educated women who are determined not to spend one more day wasting energy trying to fix a relationship that hurts them, and ready to do whatever it takes to recover from abusive relationships, fall back in love with themselves, and never settle for less than they deserve again. There's 5 key shifts that you need to make, and I'm going to tell you how I found out about these shifts. When I left an abusive relationship, there was nobody there to help me. I was absolutely alone. I had no internet either, and I had to find the power within me myself to become the person that I needed to be to create the life that I deserve and live to this day. And you know, I started to mentor people over the years, and I mentored them for decades, and then I started working with clients, and I started noticing these 5 shifts. And these 5 shifts are honestly what separate those who go on to lead the life that they want to lead, in which they have no self-doubt, no fear, are absolutely confident, knowing who they really are, to make the right decisions and go down the exact path they need to find love, happiness, and joy more than you can ever imagine. And what was different between them and the other people who kept going around and round in circles, going back to their abusive partner and the pain, or into the next abusive relationship and being hurt all over again, and just living a life where they were lonely even though they had a person in the bed beside them, where they didn't know who they were anymore and were lost and exhausted from trying everything and nothing worked. I gradually realized what those shifts were, and I drilled even deeper into my life by using them, and it led to even more dramatic, life-changing results for me. So I started telling my clients, and what happened was I unlocked the root cause of their struggle and fast-tracked their healing and road to recovery. So today I want to reveal exactly what those people who do recover from abuse, fall back in love with themselves, and never settle for anything less than they deserve are doing that you probably aren't. Now, pay attention, guys, because a lot of this is the absolute opposite to what you may be doing right now. The bottom line is this: there are 5 key shifts that you must make if you want to recover from abusive relationships, fall back in love with yourself, and never settle for anything less than you deserve ever again. And I am going to walk you through all 5 of them in this session. How does that sound? Fantastic. Then let's get into it. So the first shift is it's about you, not them. I know, yes, you've been in abusive relationships and the emotional and physical abuse was unacceptable, inexcusable, and you were not to blame for it, okay? I get it. I was the same. But you know what? This is irrelevant. And if you keep feeling sorry for yourself, then you're never going to recover and heal. It's not about them and how badly they treat you. It's about you. And I know that many say this is a victim blaming, but you know what? In my opinion, that's bullshit. Sorry, excuse my language, but it's true. It's the opposite to that. And if you stay focused on your ex and what happened in your abusive relationship, or wallow in how bad your luck is and what negative things keep happening to you in your life, you're stuck in that victim mentality. And you know what? You're going to stay that way. And you will end up lonely in a relationship that's abusive, or keep going from one abusive relationship to the next. And you don't want to do that, do you? Or you'll end up alone because you're too terrified of dating again. As you know, you'll only go on and attract the same type all over again. Or you'll be treated like a doormat forever and taken advantage of, but getting nothing back in return. Now, if you're sick and tired of repeating this same pattern and you're ready to face and focus on yourself to heal, well, this is what I want to help you to do. It's controversial, I know, but I really believe that some of us attract abusers to us and others repel them. So, which one are you? I'd like to invite you to honestly ask yourself the same questions I did. Ask yourself this: why do you keep attracting abusive partners? Why did you stay way too long despite emotional and physical violence, even take responsibility for it, and still feel guilty and or accept the blame? Why did you ignore the red flags and warning signs that were there from the start? Do you know, a Dove self-esteem study of more than 10,000 girls in 13 countries has found that 7 in 10 young women today don't feel good enough. And this can impact your life in many negative ways. When I was honest with myself and I asked myself those questions, I was really shocked to discover that I was one of those girls. Even though I always thought I was the strong one, I was the life of the party, I was the happy-go-lucky one, I actually discovered a frightened little girl, one who never felt good enough, one who felt unworthy and maybe that I deserved the abuse in some way. And you know what? That not feeling good enough, it leads you into these dysfunctional relationships and to put others' needs first above your own. It leads you to people pleasing. And it leads you to being vulnerable to these narcissists and abusive types and their grooming, gaslighting and manipulation, because they see that your boundaries are weak and they just push them down. This is what I know. We become who we believe we are deep down inside. We attract what we think we deserve. So there is something about us that subliminally draws abusers to us, and why that pattern keeps repeating. It's not to blame you for it. I'm just telling you the truth. You might not even be aware you're low in self-esteem, and to the outside world appear self-confident and strong, just like I did. When I was faced with this truth about myself, I knew that the only way I was going to heal was to take my focus off him and put it back to where it belonged, which was onto healing me. And you know what? That's the most empowering thing. I felt liberated, because that's far less exhausting than trying to fix everything else around me. Because you know what? The more I tried to control my life, the more uncontrollable it became. You might feel trapped and overwhelmed right now. But change is not only possible, it's achievable. It simply starts with you. Does that make sense? Just change you guys and the rest will follow. I promise. And I want you to be really clear how important this first crucial step is, because I see so many others not teaching this fundamental shift and encouraging women, say in Facebook groups, to stay stuck in this victim mentality and to continue to wallow in shame and blame. But be honest with yourself and take a good look within you before you do anything, or nothing else will work. You can start healing right now. Once you do that, the next shift is to lose your inner child. Because what if I told you that you may be self-sabotaging your life? Did you know that from birth to the age of 7, our subconscious mind is programmed and fully formed? I know, right? Think about it. When you're at that age, you're a sponge and you're absorbing everything that's going on around you. And you're absorbing certain beliefs, patterns of behavior, feelings about yourself that have been passed down from, say, your parents. And you just absorb all this stuff. And you start to create this script, an internal script inside you that's based on all of those experiences and the emotions you attach to those experiences. For example, say as a child, you used to come home all the time and you'd have A grades. You're a really clever child. But every time you came home with an A grade, your parents just said, well, why didn't you get an A plus? And if that happens often enough, you might start associating that A grade with failure. You're not smart enough. So you might grow up to be an overachieving adult who, no matter how hard and how much you achieve, you secretly feel like you're a failure and you have that imposter syndrome. Or say you were the scapegoat of the family and you just sort of never lived up to anyone else in the family or to others. You were just always looked down upon in some way. Then you might actually grow up to become an underachieving adult because you sort of sabotage whatever you do in a self-fulfilling prophecy kind of way, because you think, well, I'm not good enough anyway, so what's the point? Why bother? Or say one parent was just so totally absorbed on the other parent or self-absorbed that they didn't have time to nurture your emotional needs. So you become emotionally neglected in a way. Well, you're going to grow up to think that your needs don't matter. And you'll start people-pleasing or denying your needs completely in dysfunctional or abusive relationship. Because you know what? In adulthood, 95% of our time is driven by this subconscious programming. Our beliefs about ourselves, how we behave, how we react to others is all driven by that. And you may not even realize this, but there's a hidden 7-year-old inside of you that's sabotaging your life and making really bad decisions that hurt you. Do you want a 7-year-old at the steering wheel of your life? I don't really need to tell you how that's going to turn out, do I? So it's worth me telling you about Jay, because she's a really good example of this, because she's a highly successful journalist, yet no matter how extraordinary her achievements are to this day, she felt a failure and was full of fear when she came to me. She struggled to let go of an abusive ex who kept reinforcing her belief that she wasn't good enough and that no one would ever love her again. So she became wary of dating. Together, we identified significant events and experiences from her childhood that subconsciously programmed those self-limiting beliefs and patterns of behavior. And we found the insecure child inside her, the one that was driving the choices she made as an adult, and how and why it was sabotaging her life without even realizing it. So she went on, which was brilliant, to rewrite the negative internal script, and now she feels happier and more confidently in control of her life. So guys, have you ever felt like Jay? And can you see how self-limiting beliefs can impact you and get in your way, and how you can get rid of them? You might be wondering now how I can achieve that. How would you feel if you were now really confidently in control of your life? Empowered, right? And let me tell you about the most powerful way to do this. And that's going to take me to shift number 3, which is rewrite your internal script. You know, most of us go about life the wrong way. And have you ever thought this? How can I control this? What can I do to change this? Why can't I fix him? What if I tried this, or if I do that? Would that have made this relationship work? What if this happens? What if that happens? Or you might say, why does this bad stuff just keep happening to me? When am I going to get a break? Does this sound familiar to you? Well, if you feel helpless and like your life is out of control, but you have no idea why, it's most likely that you may be trying to control what you can't control, or to fix or change someone or something that's out of your power to control or do so. And your moods and behavior may be at the mercy of those of everyone else around you. So, no wonder you feel helpless. And you know what? Subconsciously, this is all driven by the emotional child inside you reacting to the world around you, rather than your higher, rational adult self who is choosing how you respond to it and making the best decisions that serve you. And when all those childhood tapes kick in, this is what happens. This is the old way, right? You keep people pleasing because you just don't want to stay on those eggshells. Or you keep fooling yourself, thinking, oh, maybe it's not that bad. Or you go back to that relationship, even when you know in your head that's the craziest thing to do, and you're just going back to the pain. Or even worse, you do more, you try harder, you keep loving them more to try and make it work. Or you start dating too soon. You think, I just need to feel good again. So you quickly find the replacement to them who, yep, guess what happens? It's going to be another abusive person who hurts you all over again. Or you swear, I'm never dating again because I'm too scared of making that same mistake. So you end up lonely. Or you look into self-help books, you obsess over therapy. You talk to your friends who don't understand you. Or you keep suppressing your emotions and you isolate yourself. And you just spend hours searching on YouTube for the answers. Oh my God, I am so exhausted just saying this. And guys, the problem with this is it's like rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. You're trying everything to control the uncontrollable. It's not going to save you because you'll keep doing it while you're still drowning. And you know what? Does it even make sense? You keep trying to do more, try harder, love more, prove yourself more, numb yourself and suppress all your emotions even more until you lose yourself. You have no idea who you are anymore. And you're just exhausted because this abusive cycle just starts all over and over again. Does this ring a bell for you guys? And you know what? It's not working, is it? Trust me, if you continue round this dysfunctional cycle, you're just going to go round and round and round until you are you've got no sense of self-worth left, not one shred of it. And then you'll have no idea what way to turn. You will just continue to people please, putting everyone else needs above your own and at the expense of your own, and being a doormat to the point where such a shell of yourself, you have no idea who you are anymore. And you'll just become so isolated and alone. And you know what? That's going to rub off on your children, isn't it? That's not a great role model for them, is it? I'm not trying to be harsh, but it's what most people do after they've left abusive relationships or when they're still struggling to do so. Now, the good news, guys, is there is a much better and less exhausting way. In fact, it's the opposite, and it takes a much simpler approach. So guys, the new way, you just tap into the power within you. You let go of anything else around you because you can't control it, and you just focus on you. Then you identify what the self-limiting beliefs are. You discover where they came from in your past and in your childhood, and then you recognize your internal script and how it's driving your life in ways that's not serving you, and then you rewrite your story. It's as simple as that. And honestly, that's the best thing of all, is you can rewrite your story. And you know what? It gets even better, because if you do this new way, then you can be who you were born to be and create the life you dream of and deserve. That's what I've done. And you have no idea how amazing that feels. And it is there just waiting for you guys. And this is all that one of my clients, this is all she did after spending years trying all the old ways to fix her life and failing. Dee, when she came to me, she was broken and desperate for answers, like so many of you are when you come to me. So I gave her those tools just to look within to see why she was reacting in ways that weren't serving her. And now she's rewritten her story. She feels more sure of her decisions, is happier and more confidently in control of her life. And you know what? She did this in months. That's it. Because I don't want anyone being in therapy for 10 years. I don't want you to need me anymore. I want you to go on and live the most amazing, confident, happy life that you deserve. So if you want to keep doing it the old way and rearranging the Titanic deck chairs, go ahead. But you'll probably end up doing this for years and years and years, and you'll just keep wondering why it's not working. The difference is this 5-step approach. It cuts through to the root cause of all your problems, and it doesn't just tap into the symptoms like most people do and cover them with a band-aid that you know yourself will only get ripped off again and hurt you even more each time. Look, I know that's been a lot to take in, but it's really exciting because there's even more amazing stuff to come. So I just want to do a quick recap. We've learned so far that you become who you believe you are deep down inside, and you attract what you think you are worth. So instead of focusing on them, focus on you and find the hidden child inside you that's subconsciously sabotaging your life. Decipher what your old internal script is telling you and how it impacts your life in negative ways, and then rewrite it. Take your power back and step into your most confident, authentic adult self. This is really exciting because if you do that, that not only will you stop attracting those abusive types who hurt you, but you will also go on to repel those guys who hurt you. And this is really super important, guys, because it's no good just recovering from an abusive relationship. You don't want to repeat that pattern ever again, do you? No, you don't. So this takes me to shift number 4, which is set strong boundaries. And this is such an important shift because honestly, if you can get this right, this will change your life in ways that you can't even imagine right now. So what if I told you that it's not only possible to rewrite your story to an empowered and positive one and create the life you deserve, but you can also attract only those who will respect and take care of you and repel narcissistic types who hurt and abuse you. Sounds awesome, doesn't it? And how would you feel if you had that superpower? Honestly, I've got it. It's amazing. And what if I told you that the way to armor yourself is the one that presently scares you? And that is to set strong boundaries. Because most people equate boundaries with confrontation and they think, oh, I don't know, if I set them, I'm going to invite conflict, and it scares them. Have you ever felt like that? You worry about what others will think about you or whether they're going to judge you, and so you avoid confrontation at all costs. And when someone pushes your boundaries down, what happens is you just do nothing because you're scared of confrontation. And that makes it even worse because then if they know your boundaries are weak, they're just going to push them down even more. So you're going to give out the wrong signal that you're somebody easy to manipulate. Healthy boundaries are really important because they keep you safe. And if you're not clear what your own boundaries are, then no one else will be. And you know what happens? Narcissists who are masters at detecting whether your boundaries are weak, will just come and say, right, I can see someone here who is easy to groom, manipulate, and gaslight. And you will just attract them like moths to a flame. But if you have strong boundaries, it's like kryptonite to them. So what you need to do is to be a mirror of who you want to manifest in your life. So if your sense of self-worth and your boundaries are high, then you'll attract those who are healthy and know how to respect them. And you'll be amazed at how abusers and narcissists run a mile, I promise you, because honestly, they just detect if you're someone who has a strong sense of self-worth. So they don't even bother. And they go for somebody that they can detect is much, much weaker and easier prey for them. So if you get this right, you are going to eliminate the guilt or shame around your abusive ex and know you deserve way better than this because your boundaries are strong. You'll stop walking on eggshells or being a doormat, putting others' needs first, and instead you're going to have strong boundaries that keep you safe and secure. You're going to banish self-doubt, know exactly who you are and what you want in your life, and confidently make the right decisions that serve you to get you there. Fall back in love with yourself and stop attracting abusive types and know exactly how to spot those red flags right from the start. Finally, you're going to never settle for less than you deserve again because you'll know if it's meant to be, the perfect one will come, and if they don't, you're still going to be happy within. It won't matter to you either way. And honestly, when you get to that point, that is when the most healthy, perfect relationship is going to come, because that's when love found me. Wouldn't that feel amazing? But you know what? It is hard to do it alone. I have to be honest. So that brings me to this 5th shift, which is invest in mentoring. I know it sounds simple because actually it really is. What you don't realize is that dark tunnel that you're in right now is the same tunnel that is going to lead you towards the most incredible light. You have no idea how beautiful your life will be when you're free from pain and love doesn't hurt and you no longer fear the future. It's there waiting for you. I won't say it's easy, but with the right support, you can do this. Everyone should have a mentor because mentoring brings three really great things. It brings support, new ways of thinking, and accountability. You know, there's mindset shifts in your head right now that would not have been there had you not made time for this webinar. And you know what? These mind shifts will fast track your way to healing. So here's how it works. You'll just reset your self-limiting beliefs and reprogram your mind. You'll respond to the world, not react to it, and set strong boundaries so that you can live true to who you are. So let me just ask you this. Are you in charge of your life? And are you confidently making the right decisions? Are you waking up full of joy and putting your needs first? And are you happy within no matter what happens or what anyone says or does? If the answer is no, then invest in yourself and mentoring because it will fast track you. I just want to put this into perspective because when I think about what a lot of my clients have done in the past, when they've gone about it the old way, the cost of one session of therapy alone is around about $250. And one woman, Norma, who I'd worked with, she'd been to therapy for 10 years. So that equates to tens of thousands of dollars. And you know what? She came to me in crisis as she struggled to leave an abusive relationship, but we were able to accelerate her healing process. Within months, not years, she was able to get to the root of her hurts and forgive the past in order to move forward. And she went from a terrified, powerless woman, just like a lot of you I know now, who was putting her needs second to everyone, and she's now become a confident and happy woman. For the first time in her adult life, she's not afraid, and she looks forward to her future with great optimism. It was life-changing, she said. Today I promised that I would show you how to let go of and recover from abusive relationships even when you've had a history of repeating them, how to understand how and why you keep attracting bad guys or girls in the first place, and break that cycle for good, how to overcome unwitting self-sabotage and empower yourself so you can only make the right choices that drive your life forward to a brighter future, how you can reprogram your mind to eliminate fears and self-doubt and embrace the future with confidence, and how to believe you will find love again in a long-lasting, healthy, happy, pain-free relationship, even if that sounds like a pipe dream right now, and how to never settle for anything less than you deserve ever again. All you need to win is to understand it's you, not them. Lose the inner child, rewrite your internal script, set strong boundaries, and invest in mentoring. These 5 shifts alone are enough to propel you to recover from abusive relationships, fall back in love with yourself, and never settle for anything less than you deserve again. That's it. So, now you have a choice. You can just ignore everything I've said today. That's fine. It's no skin off my nose if you do. And you can just go back to the life that you're living, which is going to be one of more pain, going back to the abusive relationships, repeating the pattern over and over again. It's going to be one in which you isolate yourself, stop dating because you're terrified of making the same mistake again. It's going to be one in which you just keep being a doormat and get nothing back. You can keep remaining numb, suppressing all your feelings and stopping feeling everything. You can stay exhausted, trying everything you've tried 1,000 times before. And you can keep living that secret life of fear. That's your choice. Or you can stop with that bullshit and actually know and believe, I deserve way better than this. Enough's enough. You can find you again. You can really go back to who you really are, the person you were born to be, and become your most confident, authentic adult self. And you can live a life in which you never depend your happiness on anyone else ever again. And you can rewrite a new empowered script in life that takes you to joy and happiness that is way beyond what you can even imagine right now. And be happy and fulfilled with or without a partner. And never settle for anything less than you deserve ever again, because you know what? It won't matter to you, because you'll know you're good enough. And it doesn't matter where you are right now. It's okay. I've seen it all, I promise. I've been through every single bit of the pain that you have. I know your pain. It was mine. So here's what I'd like to do and how I can help. My team and I have set aside some time in the next 48 hours to speak to you personally about how you can apply these ideas to your life starting today. And whatever your biggest struggles and challenges are and how overwhelmed you might be feeling right now, we've seen it and know how to overcome it. So don't worry. We'll have an online call for about 45 minutes. We'll work with you to get clarity on where you're struggling right now, understand where you'd like to go, and decide if you are truly ready to stop being a victim and do whatever it takes to never settle for less than you deserve in life, love, and relationships ever again. And if so, how to get you there. And the cost? Absolutely free. There's no charge for this, but there is one caveat. You must be a smart, educated woman who is determined not to spend one more day wasting your energy trying to fix a relationship that hurts you, ready to invest in yourself and do whatever it takes to recover and heal from abusive relationships, open to listening to a new approach and willing to step out of your comfort zone and take action today to change, and ready with support to lean into fear because you have greater certainty that you want healthy, loving relationships and career success than you want to stay in a victim state of pain. And if that's you, please do book a session right now. I'd love to hear from you. You might be wondering why we're doing this. I love guiding women like you who are ready to do whatever it takes to heal through the simple steps that you can take to free yourself from abusive relationships, fall back in love with yourself, never settle for anything less than you deserve again, and find the joy and love that you deserve in your life. So if you'd like to do this, then we can discuss it and see if it's a good fit for both of us. And if not, that's fine too. But if you want to cross that bridge of fear and change your life, then I'd love to invite you to apply for an online breakthrough session with me. Spaces are really limited. I'd urge you to sign up quickly. And you can do this by going to vivianmcgrath.com/support. Now, guys, I'm going to try and make it so that a button pops on your screen right now. So if you can see that, well, just click on that, and then that will take you to my calendar, where you can choose an available time that works best for you. And then once you do that, you'll be taken to a quick questionnaire, very brief questions. And then we can get on that online call and a plan of how you can move forward with your life and really recover from abusive relationships, never settle for anything less than you deserve ever again, and live the most beautiful life that you deserve to live. Life's too short. Why do you want to settle for anything less ever again? So book a free session with me now, vivianmcgrath.com/support. Anyway, I'd just like to finish up by saying thank you so much for joining me today. It's been absolutely my honor and a pleasure. And I hope that either way, that was really, really helpful for you. And if you are ready to be one of those people that is separated from those who stay stuck in that victim mentality and never change their life, but you want to be one of those few who really do go to the other side, then book that call with me now. The link is vivianmcgrath.com/support. Have a great day, everybody, and bye for now.